When I was growing up on the Morongo Reservation, I think about those different things, like the wood stove, one of my stories. It was central, that wood stove, because we didn't have electricity or actually running water. We had to carry the water from a standpipe and all through the year. And so, but the stove, the cooking on that rang a bell when I told the story about the little bear and my actually an older aunt told a story about the little bear disturbing the den, and then the song from that little bear song. Just when I think about it, we were tougher, I guess, because we didn't notice. Well, we noticed, but we withstood the elements better. We were tougher, I guess. That's what I'm trying to say. And the wood stove, of course, was you wanted to get close to it. It was really cold. If you were outside and came in and you head for the cooking, with just one stove, that large stove that served as heating the house. And since we didn't have running water or electricity or gas, I don't know who had gas first. I think it was the Martins they were always ahead of things. Anyway, heading for the wood stove, I remember I'd sit behind the stove and use the back of it to melt the crayon and draw on the back of the stove. And so when the stove was removed, I remember it ended up in Saboba at one of my Uncle Amby's house. He inherited when we gave it up, when we moved away from that house. As I was beginning to talk about being tough and withstanding stuff, cold wind and so on. I remember the wind though. It was always blowing either east or west, and you had to be ready for that. Then covered up nice to be outside. But the stove, as I say, was essential because it always, when you're any meal time, you could smell whatever was cooking, and it was getting home from school. You know, you could smell wonderful food, and I think about that and how things seem to taste better, have a different flavor, and just memory. Things were delicious, and our mother used to cook different things. Her older sister was known as the grand cook, though, Juliet, and she would cook all sorts of things for her family. But my mother was whatever she cooked was wonderful, and as I recall. So when we eat anywhere, actually, June noticed that the food at the big house, or whenever there were things going on, and she had a chance to taste the different cookery, she noticed that it was very delicious. And on the bland side, as we noticed, and since she doesn't like spicy, overly spiced food, and I fit in that area also, yeah, it was unique and wonderful. And, but being out at our ranch, we don't have a cook stove, a wood stove. We do have a heater, and crank that up when it really gets cold. Everything, our lifestyle, made us tougher, I guess, because when we would come back to visit my Aunt Dot and my mother, they were always ready for us with a nice stew or a roast or whatever, and that was a great treat. Anyway, those are things that we think about at this time of year, and thought I'd just pass it on.